Now the castle was a crumbling ruin, its towers stone shells, its gates broken. A ruin that provided shelter for thousands of orcs camped outside the wall. 3,000 of them at least, muttered Ridmark, counting the lines of tents. He saw orcish warriors walking everywhere, sharpening weapons and repairing armor. Maybe even 4. Aye, said Caius, examining the ruined castle. They're getting ready to move. Ridmark nodded, thinking. They must be preparing to attack Dunlicinia. This isn't merely a war band or a raid. This is an army, as large of one as Marlek's old followers can muster. I heard Marlek raised a great horde, said Caius. He did, said Ridmark, 50,000 strong, and they marched out of Valusk in the wilder land like a storm. They will... Wait. Stop talking. He ducked behind the boulder and Caius followed suit. A moment later, 4 orcish scouts marched up the road, each carrying a short bow, their forehead marked with the teardrop sigil of the Malachites. Ridmark remained motionless, wrapped in his elven cloak, his hands tightening around his staff. The orcs did not see them, and continued climbing the road to the tower's southern gate. 50,000 strong, said Ridmark, straightening up, and they would have burned a trail of cinders and blood from Dunlicinia to Tarlion itself, if Marlek had worked his will. If you hadn't stopped him, said Caius. Ridmark grimaced. I was hardly alone. He stared at the castle. One of Marlek's remaining disciples must have delusions of grandeur, or found some old dark elven relic of power. They won't penetrate far into the realm, not with only 4,000 warriors. But they will burn Dunlicinia to the ground and kill God knows how many people. Then our course is clear, said Caius. We must return to Dunlicinia and warn Sir Joram. He shrugged. At the very least, one of us must go, if you are so determined to find the truth behind this omen of the Frostborn. Even you must think it an odd coincidence, said Ridmark, glancing at Caius. The blue fire fills the sky, and then an orcish host gathers at the Tower of Vigilance. What is this place, anyway? Said Caius. The Tower of Vigilance, repeated Ridmark. Caius snorted. I know the name, but not its history. Fair enough, said Ridmark. He saw hundreds of green-skinned figures moving back and forth below the tower's outer wall. 200 years ago, after the High King Arthurain V and the Dragon Knight and the Magistri and the Swordbearers destroyed the Frostborn, some feared the Frostborn they might return. So the Order of the Vigilant was founded, and they built the Tower of Vigilance to watch for the Frostborn. The decades passed and the Order became an anachronism. Finally, during the War of the Five Princes, the Master of the Vigilant picked the wrong side. The current High King's father seized the Tower of the Vigilant, burned it, and slew the Order. The castle has been abandoned ever since. Now here you are, said Caius, hunting signs of the return of the Frostborn, who are extinct. I've found orcs instead, said Ridmark. God has a sense of humour. The Lord works in mysterious ways, said Caius, his wonders to perform. And while I do not presume to know the mind of God, I hope his plan does not involve you dying in the heart of those ruins, which you will if we go any further. I suggest we return to Dunlicinia at once. Sir Joram must be warned, and if the outlying freeholders do not fall back behind the town's walls, they shall be slaughtered. The dwarven friar was right. The omen Ridmark had sought for 5 years had filled the sky, and Ridmark knew the answers were somewhere on the Black Mountain. Yet a small army of orcs stood between Ridmark and the mountain. He did not fear death.